Hey everyone, Retire on Dividends here. I'm back to make another update to the newest weekly series where we compare Roundhill versus Defiance versus YieldMax. Or should I just say Defiance versus Roundhill versus YieldMax, aka dry. This is the dry series. So again, what do? First, again, you can see on this tab, right, we compare the index. And then we compare that index with the Roundhill and the Defiance, same index options trading ETF to see how it did. We're really comparing the two, Defiance and Roundhill, but it's important to also compare it against the index. So let's just get to it and see how we did. So right off the bat, Monday, index, the NASDAQ went down 0.05%, QQQY went up 0.15%. QDTE went down 0.02%. So again, a kind of a flat day. I notice on mostly flat days, I see Defiance typically getting ahead because they do a little more aggressive trading, which means they earn more premium. So QQQY for the win. The next day, Tuesday, the index went down 0.17%. QQQY did go up 0.06%. However, QDTE did beat it by 0.01 and because they went up 0.07. So QDTE for the win. The next day, again, not kind of the same exact day, the index went down 0.16%. QQQY up 0.03%. QDTE didn't move, right? It's very unusual, but it didn't move. That's what I'm showing, at least. Again, unless my spreadsheet's broken. Let's see what it does. Let's see. Yeah, looks good. But yeah, didn't move, which means QQQY for the win. On ex-dividend date, again, we don't count the distribution, right? We take that out. The index went down 0.66%. QQQY went down 0.5%. QDTE went down more. It went down 0.61%. So QQY for the win again. And then a big down day. The NASDAQ went down 2.4%. QQQY kind of went down with it, 2.33%. And QDTE actually didn't go down as much. It only went down 2.18%. So QDTE for the win. So overall, QQQY, 3 wins. QDTE, 2 wins. All right. Moving on to the S&P version of this. So again, we compare the S&P to WDTE to XDTE. WDTE is Defiance, XDTE is Roundhill. Or green is Defiance, blue is Roundhill. All right, Monday morning. And if you're wondering why there's a 2-day gap, for whatever reason, it shows like Saturday as the Monday price. That's just what it does. It's Google Sheets. What do you want from me? All right, the S&P went up 0.1%. WDTE said, I'm going up more, 0.12%. XDTE, it only went up 0.09%. So WDTE for the win. Next up, the S&P on the Tuesday, it did go down 0.29%. WDTE only went down 0.05%. So not bad. Again, beat the index. However, XDTE stayed flat. So that's a win, right? The market went down. XDTE stayed flat. That's a win. So XDTE for the win. Wednesday, the index went up. Again, kind of a flat day, so we would expect Defiance to win this day. Let's see. S&P went up 0.02%, which is like nothing, right? WDTE went up 0.17%. XDTE went up 0.11%. So as expected, yes, the Defiance fund did win on the nearly flat day. So WDTE for the win. All right, on to the next one. S&P did go down 0.6%. I'm getting thirsty. WDTE went down. This was on X date, by the way, which again, we take out the distribution when we compare the price. WDTE went down 0.56. XDTE went down 0.55. So XDTE for the win, barely, but for the win. And last but not least, Friday was a rough day for everyone, but the index, the S&P went down 1.32%. WDTE went down 1.21%. XDTE went down a little less. It did go down 1.17%. So XDTE took 3 wins, and WDTE took 2 wins. So far, Defiance took 1, and then Roundhill took 1. So here comes the tiebreaker. Now, this is for the Russell. We compare the Russell to IWMY to RDTE. All right, Monday morning, the Russell went boom. It went up 1.47%. And you know, when the index goes boom, typically Roundhill will win. Let's see. IWMY, they captured 0.77%. And RDTE captured 1.88%. Gotta love RDTE for that, man. RDTE. Wow, like days like that is why I love Roundhill. Like, you're not going to get that type of capture on Defiance, unfortunately. You know, they got to add something to their strategy where they are able to. Anyway, Tuesday morning, it went back down. So the Russell went down 1.77%. IWMY went down 1.49%. RDTE went down a little less, 1.38%. RDTE, 2 days in a row. Look at that. All right. What we got? Wednesday, down 0.94%. IWMY went down 0.51%. RDTE went down a little more, 0.83%. So IWMY took that day. And then Happy X dividend day came, and the index went down again. Down 1.37%. IWMY went down 1.3%. RDTE only went down 1.2%. They both beat the index, however, RDTE for the win. All right, last but not least, the shitty Friday, the Russell went down 1.42%. IWMY went down 1.2%. And RDTE went down a little more, 1.28%. So IWMY for the win. But guys, they're beating the freaking index, though. You got to love it. They're both beating the index. All right, let's move on to the YieldMax comparison. YieldMax, again, we just compare YMAX to YMAG because to me they're competition within each other. Obviously, they're the same company, so it doesn't really matter to them, but to us it does, because people always ask, should I buy YMAX? Should I buy YMAG? Well, let's see. Monday morning, YMAX went up 2.26%. Hell to the yeah. That's a nice jump. YMAG only went up 0.86%. What's the difference, by the way? YMAX holds all of the YieldMax covered call ETFs in a basket, right? Equally weighted. YMAG, they hold the Magnificent 7 covered call ETFs, okay? So 7 versus all. All right, Tuesday morning, what are we doing? YMAX, it went down 0.11%. YMAG went down a little more, 0.15%. So far, 2 for YMAX. All right, next day, YMAX went down 0.88. YMAG went up 0.35. So a win for YMAG. Good. Now, ex-dividend date went down 0.93%. YMAG went down a little more, 0.95. So YMAX for the win again. And then last but not least, the shitty Friday, YMAX went down 0.17%. YMAG went down a lot. It went down 1.74%. So this, the same thing that we think is positive about YMAG, like NVIDIA going up, Tesla going up, YMAG would fly up, right? But unfortunately, like NVIDIA went down on the Friday, right? So what happened? YMAG went down with it, right? I'm sure maybe others went down too. I didn't really track them as much. But YMAG, that's a big drop. Went down 1.74. But anyway, YMAX 4 wins, YMAG 1. So YMAX for the win. All right. Well, you guys, you're in these funds for the yield. Let's be real here. I know you want the best total return, but at the same time, you're all greedy bastards just like me, and you want a high distribution. So this is why we tracked the yield war. So who pays the best yield? This week, number 1 is IWMY. No surprise there, 65% yield. By the way, how do I calculate this? Well, I take the latest distribution, I multiply it by 52 weeks, and I divide it by the price as of the declaration date, okay? Number 2, second place, YMAG, a 54% yield, and number 3, QQQY, 51% yield. So, IWMY has been in the top 3 since we've been tracking this, which again, it's now been what, 2, 4, this is 6 weeks in. So 6 for 6 in the top 3. QQQY, 3 of the 6 weeks. YMAX, 4 of the 6 weeks. YMAG, 5 of the 6 weeks. So Roundhill, not known for their high distribution as much as these. Clearly, you know, they haven't been in the top 3 yet. But that could change. You never know, especially RDTE. They have a pretty respectable yield. They have 38%. That's pretty damn good. But, you know, to compete with these others yield-wise, it's a little tough. But time will tell. All right. Now, you NAV lovers, here we are. Who had the best NAV appreciation? Well, let's see. It wasn't really a great week. So there was only one fund that actually went positive overall. YMAX went up 0.16% for the week. So everyone else was negative. So what was the smallest negative? Surprisingly, not surprisingly, but the S&P 500 funds, WDTE and XDTE, they were the second lowest, pretty close too. WDTE down 1.53, XDTE down 1.51. So again, they beat the index for the week. Good job. What about, did QQQY and QDTE beat their index? Yes. What about the Russell? Yes. And every fund here beat its index, which is awesome. So I know a lot of people say, well, just invest in the index. Well, nope. How about that? Nope. So again, good job. Good job, funds. They all did well. I'm happy to own all of them, and I do own all of them. All right, total return. Here we go. Again, what am I doing here? Since I started tracking, I'm doing a total return. This is not from inception. I started this basically when Defiance and YMAX, YMAG started weekly because I think it's fair, start at a more current date and see how they do. Again, it's early, right? 6 weeks in, I think we said. Let's see how they did. Total return percentage, QDTE for the win. They are up 2.77% in total return. QQQY, unfortunately, is negative 0.44%. So again, they did pretty good. Well, this week was negative, but overall, they've been doing okay, I think. But then the NASDAQ positive 1.79%. So overall total return, obviously QDTE, killing it. Next, again, Roundhill again, XDTE, total return up 2.36%. WDTE, at least it's positive, but it's only positive 0.36%. However, the S&P is up 2.08% for this time frame, 6-week time frame. What about the Russell? Hello, Russell. RDTE for the win. Roundhill with the sweep, as usual. Again, they have such an advantage because they had a couple really big days. So it's going to be really, really hard for Defiance to even catch up, and they may never. So this may be irrelevant. It may be just better to compare it against the index, to be honest. But RDTE total return, positive 3.73%. They did not beat the index, though. The index was 4.11% positive. And IWMY, kind of crappy, negative 1.12%. So again, since I've been tracking it, unfortunately, 2 of the 3 Defiance ones in the negative. Now, YMAX versus YMAG versus the MAGs. What the hell is the MAGs? Well, the MAGs is a regular Magnificent 7 ETF. All right. So YMAX, its total return has been 6.21%. I mean, that's number one. They whoop everyone's ass. They whoop all the indexes. They whoop all the Roundhill funds and Defiance funds. So I know we all say there's so many shitty funds in there, and I agree. Like, get Moderna out of there, right? Get that crap out of there. So, and I don't know, SIMC is SMCY. Like, what the hell? But whatever. Is that even still in there? I assume there has to be, right? Regardless, YMAX total return is positive 6.21%. YMAG, not too bad yourself, buddy. They are up 6.12%. So both fantastic. Anyway, what about MAGs? MAGs beat them both. MAGs is up 6.23%, which obviously that's pretty well. Also, just FYI, I do not calculate any distributions associated with the indexes that I'm tracking these against, because why? Because I don't know. Because I'm not. How about that? Is that good enough? Anyway, I'm sure it's not much anyway, so whatever. All right, let's go to the OM war. Well, what the hell is the OM? It's the assets under management. It's the value of the frickin' fund. It's the outstanding share increase or decrease week over week. QQQY continues to lose shareholders. They went down 125,000. QDTE increased theirs by 50,000. So again, net asset change, 4 million decrease on QQQY, 2 million increase on QDTE. All right, what about the S&P funds? WDTE did lose 50,000 outstanding shares. XDTE did gain 70,000. So on this one, Defiance lost 2 mil. Roundhill gained 3.6 mil. All right, IWMY, they lost as well. 50,000 outstanding shares. That sucks. RDTE, they lost too. I'm sorry. God, I can't see clearly, but obviously RDTE, they gained 110,000 outstanding shares. So overall here, at least on the Russell one, Defiance lost 1.6 mil in net assets, and Roundhill gained 4.8 mil. So really good week for Roundhill as far as new investors. And how about YieldMax? This is just YMAX and YMAG we're looking at. Both had 600,000 additional outstanding shares purchased, which that's pretty impressive. An increase of 10.5 mil on YMAX, an increase of 11.5 mil on YMAG. So more and more people continuing to buy into these funds. And if we add them all together, who is the biggest? Well, Roundhill is the biggest, although they have 3 versus YieldMax's 2. But Roundhill total for these 3, 821 mil. YieldMax is in second place. Again, I know it's not fair. They only have 2 funds, but still, two really good funds. They have 584 mil. And Defiance in last place with 387 mil. So, again, these numbers are massive. They make a lot of money charging their 0.99% expense ratios. So they're doing well, all right? They're all doing well. Let's not feel bad. All right, the finals. Someone asked me to add this, I think, on one of the videos. But, again, I'm just putting up what is the average yield since I started tracking this. QQQY average yield 44%, QDTE 30%, WDTE average yield 35%, XDTE 21%, IWMY average yield 54%, RDTE 34%, YMAX 54% average yield, just right up there with IWMY. YMAG 50% yield. So IWMY, YMAX, and YMAG all average a 50% plus yield. That's awesome. And then I have the total NAV, which, I feel like it's kind of repetitive, but YMAX and YMAG, the clear leaders, up 6%. I mean, outstanding. RDTE up 4%, and the other Roundhills both up 2%. So, Defiance a little struggle there in the total NAV. Hopefully, they can turn things around, though, in due time. So, anyway, guys, that's the update on the dry series, Defiance versus Roundhill versus YieldMax. Let me know what you guys think. Which fund is your favorite? Which fund is not so much your favorite? Any surprises this week? What are you doing? Do you own all 6 of these? Do you own some of these? What is your favorite number 1 fund out of all these? Let me know that. How about that? Again, I own, what am I doing? You guys know I have the dividend car account. Most of you do at least. So this wasn't the plan for the dividend car. It was just Misty, but I decided to kind of just level it out, be a little safer with index plays. And since they're paying weekly, I said, you know what? Well, let's bring in a weekly paycheck. So all 6 of these are working for me. They're paying me weekly. And they're paying my wife's car payment, and they're paying phone bill, internet bill, and they're doing a good job. So we'll see how that goes. I'll add more bills as I make more income from these funds. Hopefully, they all stay pretty stable over time. But obviously, if the NAV goes down on these funds, that will suck, as we know, right? So hopefully that doesn't happen. All right, guys, as always, none of this is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, we will try again next week. Again, this is a weekly series. I don't plan to do it any more frequent than that. Again, unless I'm super bored, then I can do a midweek update, but I don't know. We'll see. If you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them down below. No keyword because it's not a morning video. Sorry. But feel free to comment your favorite fund out of the 6. Or you could rank them 1 through 6. That'll be cool too. I don't know if you guys have that kind of time though. All right, guys. I think I'm done yapping for the day. Pretty exhausted. Long night. Unfortunately, our boy Tyson lost. But man, it was, to be honest, a pretty boring fight. And he's old, man. He's just old. He was winded. You could tell his legs were just getting tired. It's everything. But he's in really good shape, though. Props to him for that. I mean, he made 20 mil, though. He made 20 mil. Jake Paul made 40 mil. Unbelievable. We got to do boxing, right? You got to be famous first, and then you got to go box. That's the way to do it, I guess. All right, guys. I'm out of here. I'm done yapping. Have a great day or night or whatever the hell you're watching this. But I'll talk to you guys later.